welcome to Friday edition, January the 7th, I believe it is, of the Murder Mentality. Welcome. Today, we're dealing with the aftermath of the big snow day we had yesterday. I'm going to crack a few jokes first right off the bat, but you'll have to forgive me. I feel like a lot of the businesses out here don't know what the word liability lawsuit means, because y'all need to get on point with some scraping and some salt, all right? Somebody's going to fall down and break a hip in your parking lot and sue you, and it's going to be bad news bears, all right? So take a second. Make sure you're when it comes to safety, because I just said safety is an illusion. I want you to understand that, there's definitely tasks and definitely things that you should do to help minimize risk. There's nothing wrong with minimizing risk, okay? But what I am saying is that I feel like a little bit of preparedness in the snow prevention situation would help a lot. All right, but let's get right into it, guys. I was listening to an audio book this morning, and it jumped out right off the page, even though it was an audio book. Just boom. And so, oh yeah. And it jumped right off the quote unquote page, as it were, for me. And that was that safety is like an illusion. It was talking about starting businesses and starting up new ventures and stuff. But I absolutely believe this to be true. I think that far too often we get concerned with how we're going to emotionally affect people, how we're going to how it might make somebody feel, might make somebody think, well, what if we try it and we fail? What if this, what if that, what if? Well, what if is the actual, one of the most powerful phrases also in the human language, but it has a really double-edged sword. Just like the word I am is a massively powerful fucking word, but just like everything else in creation, God has made everything with a positive and negative. It has its duality in everything that we do and everything that we see. And the duality behind I am is that when you say I am something, whatever you follow those words with become magic. They become powerful. What's up, Chris? What's up, Chris? And they start affecting you instantly. This is why when you talk negatively about yourself, it's massively dangerous. But this is also why when you talk positively about yourself, it's massively uplifting. Okay? So what if is a really, really great thing to ask yourself if you're in the pits and you just don't know how you're going to get out of it. And you go, what if it is possible? What if it's possible for me to change my life? What if I did this and it had a positive impact in my life? But unfortunately, just like the words I am, they're some of the most massively misused words in the English language. And that is to say that instead of using them as a way to conjure positivity into our lives, we use it as a way to excuse ourselves from doing things that are scary. I'm here to tell you, life will never not have scary shit. It's never going to not have disasters. It's never going to not have emotional things that get you feeling some type of way. There's always going to be something that hits you in that gut right there that fucking makes your stomach churn, ooh, what happens if this, ooh, what if, But the reality is that brave people act in the face of that. I was listening to a Jocko Willink talk the other day. I fucking love Jocko, man. I love the fact that he's an ex-SEAL and he can speak from real warrior fucking mentality, because I believe that deep in our heart of hearts, all of us realizes that we must be a warrior in our own lives. All right? And I lost track of what I was going to bring up with Jocko on that one for a second, but as I was bringing up, he was talking about his heroes. That's what it was. And his heroes were literally the SEALs that were on his team, and he was the commander of Task Force Bruiser, that fought and died and lost their lives, but they lost their lives as a warrior, for something that they believed in. And that those guys that he didn't see any higher calling. And he called them fearless. And he said, not to say that they don't experience fear, but that they overcame it. And because of that, those guys are my hero. And I can't think of anybody else in my life that I could have had a more positive, more profound impact on me. I get like literally whole body goosebumps here with that. Like, I love his talk so much. That man is so fucking passionate, and he's been there for the worst of it, and he's been there for the best of it. But what I'm trying to get at is that our inability to see that safety is an illusion. There's nothing in life that doesn't come with risk. Again, I didn't fucking make the system. I'm just observing it. And God saw fit to create a world that had contrast in everything that it does. And I believe that's just the very nature of creation. I don't think there's any other way it could be. But because of that, we have to acknowledge that without risk, nothing can be gained. Yes, we should minimize risk. We should make intelligent decisions when it comes to risk. We should make intelligent decisions when we get that fearful feeling and make the right one. But I will say it again, as I've said 100 times before, it's not fucking brave if it's not scary. If it doesn't make you feel a little bit uneasy when you're doing the things that you know you need to do, then you need to find something that does make you a little bit uneasy. You need to find something that does challenge you so much that you actually do wonder, fuck, am I going to be able to do this? And then hopefully you've developed yourself enough on the back end of that your soul, your subconscious, the person who you talk to in the dark of night when it's only you there, in the mirror, all those things will fucking slap the piss out of that other version of you and say, shut the fuck up, of course we can. I'm telling you right now, I've set so many fucking lofty goals and I fail consistently at my plan. Let me get this out to you guys. I fail a lot, all right? I fall short of where I'm aiming a lot. But each time I do, I gain wisdom. I gain massive, massive amounts of information. And I'm convinced that I will fail my way to where I'm going rather than succeed my way to where I'm going. I will tick off everything that doesn't work until eventually all that's left by sheer process of elimination will. Literally, consider how many people have lost their lives, the amount of generations that came before you, the thousands of generations that have come before you. And the amount of people lost their lives in pursuit of something that they just believed in. And now I want to imagine and want you to imagine that you believe in you in such a way that you would be willing to lose your life pursuing what you believe in. Pursuing your relationship with God. Pursuing your relationship with yourself. Pursuing your relationship with your family in such a way that even if it did cause you to lose your life, everyone and everybody that knew you, including yourself, could say that person lived their life in a way that they and I am proud of. Constantly when I talk about this stuff. I'm so passionate about it, guys. I don't want you to live one more day locked in the closet of fear. One more day locked, wondering whether or not today is going to be the day that the fairy godmother shows up and fixes your fucking life for you. Because it's not happening. They're not coming. There's no help on the way. There's no help on the way. And if there is, you got to hold out until then. You're in a firefight for your soul. You're in a fucking firefight. You're in a melee. You're stuck in, like I've used that metaphor before. You've run so far into the combat that is life that you can't escape it now. So you must fight. You must fight. Do you think when people are trapped in a firefight in the military that when they're against insurmountable odds and they're calling and it seems like that help is not ever going to come, do you think that they give the fuck up? Or do they keep firing every fucking round until they have nothing left and then fucking pull out knives if they have to? I mean, we're talking that your life literally is a combat zone. It is a spiritual combat zone at all times. And your spirituality, your ability to stay connected to your creator, the blacksmith of creation, the artist of everything that exists, your ability to stay connected to that and live through that guidance in your soul, in your chest, in your very fucking heart is what will determine whether or not you say what if in a negative fashion or what if in a positive fashion. Again, I will say this again and again. God with you, who could stand against you? No weapon formed against you will prosper. For I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. We only look at it as being harm because it's not what we thought we should get out of a situation. Well, a good parent doesn't always give the child what they want. They give them what they need. And what they need sometimes is to learn some powerful lessons. What they need sometimes is to realize how fucking strong they are. Have you ever noticed that 3 or 4-year-olds will come to you and say the most fucking weird, mundane shit? They're like, look what I can do. And you're like, well, okay. You stepped backwards 3 times and then fell. Now to us, that's fucking nothing. But to them, they just discovered that they're able to fucking do something, and they're fucking pumped about it. Now think to the last time that you weren't sure you'd be able to pull something off, and when you did, how excited you were, and realize that same childlike sense of wonder and love in the world came directly from God for you discovering a little part of you that you weren't even sure was there. A little part of you that you thought, I don't know, this probably is not going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. But I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to give everything I fucking have to it. And then when it worked, you were like, oh my God, it was so fucking amazing. I want us to all approach life with that childlike sense of wonder, to discover what we're capable of. The same way a kid, the first time they fucking ride a bike and they're like, look at me, mommy, look at me, daddy, you're riding down the fucking street, and they're fucking ecstatic. And I want you, instead of looking to your parents, instead of looking to the people around you, to look up and say, look at me, Dad. Look up to your Creator and say, look that I've discovered what you've created me for. Look, I've discovered my purpose. Thank you, God, for giving me the power. And I'll say this over and over and over again, over and over and over again. Over again. Thank you, God, for giving me the power to overcome me so that I could become me. There's no greater calling in the world than for us to discover who we are. There's no greater adventure than for us to discover who we are. And once we do, it is my fervent prayer, my fervent hope, my fervent desire for you to engage in a conversation between you, your higher power, your Creator, whatever you want to call it, the universe, I don't care, whatever you identify with, and to engage in a fierce conversation between you, your spirit, and that creative force that's inside all of us that we all know deep down is there. And to never, ever let it go. Every time I finish a tattoo, I get that. It's the best high I've ever experienced. You know what, man? I get it too sometimes. The other day I did a tattoo and I was like, I didn't think it was turning out bad, but I got done and I was like, damn, I fucking knocked that shit out of the park. And it was like, fuck yeah. And the coolest part about that, man, is that like I've over time gotten more and more comfortable with just like feeling that glow inside me of accomplishment and just being like, yeah, awesome. And letting that be between me and my Creator, because that's the type of fucking approval that I seek. I seek the approval of my Creator. I could give a fuck less who else is pissed at me out there. I want my relationship with God and my relationship with me to be right before anything else. That includes my kids, my significant other, my business, my fucking everything. Because if my relationship between me, God, and me ain't right, nothing else is right, and it all might as well get thrown the fuck away. Big love, everybody. My suggestion to you today, write down what the fuck you're afraid of and what conditions you're putting on your future. What conditions you're waiting for to get out of that job you fucking hate. What conditions you're waiting for to get out of that relationship you know isn't where you're supposed to be. What conditions you're waiting for you to start your fucking business. What conditions you're putting on whatever you fucking desire deep in your heart of hearts. And to remove those conditions, remove those constraints, and allow God into the situation. To write them down and then ask God on paper to please fill the gap as you let go of that constraint. And tell me he doesn't. Tell me he doesn't. I love all of you. I'll see you tomorrow. I gotta get ready for my tattoo.